Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Dead Air Dudes. I'm Izzy.
I'm Raka. Hello, peeps. What's up?
What's going on, guys?
What's happening? All right. So today, following up in kind of a backwards fashion,
Yep.
That's how we do. We had previously reviewed Midsommar or Midsummer,
Stellar.
folk horror movie written and directed by Ari Aster, and now we've gone back in time to his first movie to check that out, Hereditary. And so this movie was 2018.
Yep.
It was his first movie, like we said. The budget was $10 million. And Izzy, how was it? Was it well received? Did it do well? Got mixed reviews.
Very well received. It was. Let me give you a quick review from one of the people. It was actually, I can't find it right now. But it was well received. It was critically acclaimed for basically how the family aspect, and you see the breakdown of every successive bad thing that happens to them, and how it's a breakdown of the main character, and he played by Toni Collette, and Steve, her husband, played by Gabriel Byrne, Charlie, the kid, the little sister, who was played by Millie Shapiro, and Peter, played by Alex Wolff, the stoner, little brother.
Alex Wolff and Millie, I think, worked together previously, so they had some kind of connection already.
Yes.
That's
All right. Let me give you. So I found it. Let me real quick. This is from Time Out. They gave it a 100. So the Metascore based on 49 critic reviews is 87 out of 100, which is excellent, especially for a horror movie. Time Out gave it 100. A harrowing story of an unthinkable family tragedy that veers into the realm of the supernatural. Hereditary takes its place as a new generation's The Exorcist. For some, it will spin heads even more savagely.
Which two I wholly disagree.
Yeah. I mean, look. I think we did a disservice to ourselves by watching Midsommar first. We probably should have seen this first and then see Midsommar, because it seems like there are similar themes that he has, and
I know it raises the bar. Obviously, his second was
right.
superior in opinion to his first. He may have learned a few things. He may have. How could you not? And listen, by no means is this a bad flick.
No.
Just if you give it 10 out of 10, it should be so memorable, extremely scary, have some permanence, resonate in your head. You should be disturbed enough not to fall asleep. In my opinion, those are some criteria for a horror movie that kicks ass.
Are you saying that you fell asleep?
I'm saying the first 45 minutes was a struggle. Like, I would like this to move on. I get the point. I get the family dynamics. I get the problems. He does wording, right? The very first scene is a paragraph from the obituary. So right from there, he kind of takes, I'm sorry to say, I'm going to just, my opinion, he kind of takes a little bit of a shortcut here. Kind of cheats a little bit. Instead of developing things or relaying things to you as it progresses and lays out in subtext, he tells you right off the bat.
Sorry to cut you off. The one thing
grandmother passes away, and who she leaves behind, and blah blah blah. Okay, quick. We're into it quick. Why the death march?
And then it kind of is a good 15, 20 minutes, and it just kind of bleh.
To me, right? To me, the 30-minute mark or something like that. Don't quote me, but where Anagram is at the, I would, for lack of a better term, grieving family members anonymous or some kind of support group.
Yes.
That to me was the scene that kind of sums up family history, where she's at, and some screwed up fucked up things that happened with her family, her mom, her siblings, her kids, her present day state of mind, her breakdown, where she's going. It didn't have to build up for so long. I think it's overkill.
You know what I do? What I do like is the fact that there's two things. A, he's got the balls to produce two movies that were over 2 hours long, and they're horror movies. Okay.
He's the artist. So, and actually, for all the fans that know out there, the original director's cut, it borders 3 hours.
Oh, Hereditary.
For both.
I know, but
And
yeah, more than that, yeah, I know that. I mean, some was already 214. It was like a 240 or something. It's like 171 minutes, something crazy like that. This one was, I think, at least 205. And I do like the fact that he brings the best out of the actors. And Toni Collette was great in this. The kid,
to me,
was
actually some kind of award.
Matter of fact, all the acting was great in both movies.
The best performance for a fractured soul, who's fractured from birth, childhood, adulthood, motherhood. Every aspect of her life has a cut in it that runs deep. And she plays this awesome character who is really the main character, who's trying to hold it all together, but supernatural forces will not let her. You talk about a character who is on the verge of suicide herself. I mean, what? Her brother committed suicide because the mom, he was on that her mom was a nut and was going to basically bargain their bodies to Satan, to a deity of hell, one of the kings of hell.
One of the 7 channels of hell. Get it right.
Paimon.
Yeah, Paimon.
Right? Eight dimensions, or whatever weird number they. All that is fine. You can make any kind of denomination you want. You can say all you want. I get it. It's just, for me, again, it takes too long to develop. It's a little bit overkill when I want to get to the meat. I understand what he's trying to do. He's trying to develop character conflict, characters themselves, internal struggles, but it's already there. We can pretty much cut half an hour's worth, go maybe in an indirect way to the support group meeting, and then have these weird incidents and apparitions and incidents at school and other things pop up, that highlights the problems in the family dynamics, and then this supernatural otherworldly force. I know we're all over the place today. We're not really going on a play-by-play, but you have some odd-looking members of the family at the wake.
Yeah. You know what? There's a lot of scenes that are really cool looking,
but it's got to have a purpose.
It doesn't have, a point. Like, you notice the creepy guy at the funeral who's smiling. Then
like the bird that hits the window.
Yeah. Well, I thought it was gonna be something along the lines that she was basically foretelling her own death.
But why would she, who is the daughter we're talking about, the
granddaughter you're talking about? I'm talking about when Charlie, she's in the classroom, the pigeon hits the freaking window, hits the window, and she goes in and cuts the head off of the pigeon, which is essentially exactly what happened to her after when she freaking, she hit her head and her head came off. So I thought she was foretelling her own death. That's what I thought.
I thought she was gonna do something freaky with the bird's head.
She did.
She did, but
because she got stopped by Annie when she was on her way to the freaking that fire thing, whatever the hell was going on.
Grandma, and they tell you in words, oh, grandma was in some secret rituals. Grandma had some private friends, and she was secretive and aloof. Towards the end, she wasn't all there. I like to be shown more than told about those things. To me, that would amp up the creepiness. That would create a little bit of intrigue. At the same time, oh, well, this is a scary, freaky character I have to look out for. I don't think they do that, and he doesn't do this enough. I think his misdirection is played into um, the girl, right? Where it comes off later, it gets revealed that she herself was being used by the grandma and
Yeah,
abused, manipulated, and it really was the son's body she was after.
that was the misdirection that he
Because
did, that throws you off in the third part of the movie.
the evil king.
I mean, he threw the little girl out there like it was gonna be creepy little girl, whatever. Yeah, it wasn't, which harkens back to how her son or Annie's brother committed suicide because he was probably the original, you know, sacrifice or body for Paimon.
Right, because Paimon, a god of mischief and a demon king, prefers the body of a male.
Exactly.
It goes from 0 to 100 in the last 20 minutes.
Yeah, which I'm like, it turned into your typical horror movie, and I'm like, what the hell? I mean, what was the deal with the head, with cutting the heads off? What the hell was that all about?
Exactly. So it's discontinuous and disharmony where now it goes into gore towards the end of the movie.
It was a cool scene, but I'm like, okay, all right. I mean, I get it. And then, hey, I get it. It's fiction. It's a movie, but I do like some realism in my fiction.
Not in the ceiling.
Not only that. How the fuck don't you smell a dead body in the fucking attic?
With the flies.
Come on.
How about the husband? Again, his role was played perfectly by a seasoned professional.
Very understated, very, he played it well.
He did. Alex Wolff, and he's been in a numerous.
Gabriel Byrne, Alex Wolff is the kid.
But yes, I'm sorry, stand corrected. But his character, so not the actor. Now I'm critiquing now the writer. His character is a little blah, and like you said, lacking in some realism here. Marriage is on the rocks. Son's freaky, daughter's freaky. Wife has some issues. He had issues with the mother-in-law. He had all these issues. And it appears to be he's this workaholic and he's trying to hold everything together, kind of living in denial. But it's not a strong character that kind of joins with this family dynamic.
No.
There's this scene in the dinner where this is more than halfway through the movie where, already let me go back in time. The mom tells the son, go out, there's a party. Oh, I'm sorry. He asked for the car. I'm sorry. He asked for the car. Mom says, okay, go. We're detached. We're aloof. There's so many crazy fucked up things happening.
You gotta take Charlie. You gotta take your sister.
No smoking, no drinking. Okay. Gotta take your sister. The sister who's by and large clearly is someone who should not be supervised by a teenager. She has some peanut allergy issues. She
I do believe she's a special needs. She's special needs.
She has some detachment issues. Your grandmother just died, who was closer to her than her own mom. Right. Okay, you let her go.
That we don't know yet, but we will find out later. Yeah.
The son is a massive druggy loser. Played well. And he's at the party and he hooks up, sees some girl he was eyeing for a while. He got a Ziploc bag full of weed. Tells the sister, go, it's a party. It's a party full of high school kids who are smoking, drinking, having a frat house type of party. She goes and eats some cake. Obviously,
he's 13 years old. He's what, 16 years old, I guess.
But this is where there's a lot of good things that Aster does with the camera. They're chopping walnuts galore. And you're like, why are they focusing on walnuts? She has a peanut or a nut allergy. So she's eating the cake, and it's a kid. Of course, they're gonna eat. You give him 10 slices of cake, they'll eat 10 slices of cake. He gets high over here. She starts choking. I can't breathe. Drinking. Then he realizes, oh, she's screwed up. He's panicking. Now he's driving 100 miles an hour through some dirt roads. High. Daughter's in the back. Sister's in the back. Can't breathe. Can't breathe. Opens the window. Sticks her head out to get some air. He swerves to avoid some dead animal. Again, contrived. And there is a pole, a telephone pole, whatever pole this is.
Right into the telephone pole. She rips her freaking head off.
Awesome scene though. That was a great scene.
Great scene.
And the pole has the sign of Satan, which we'll find out later. One of the signs of Paimon. Actually, the name of Paimon. And boom. I love how he shows without showing. You know, this is a nice, it's not straight up gore. You see the head out of the car, you see the tree, and here, boom. Then the bump. And then the awe. And then you could see like the time elapse where the time goes by where the brother's frozen on the wheel, just realizing what just happened. He accidentally, in his rush, albeit to get her help, get her home, get an EpiPen, whatever, the sister's head is chopped off by the fucking pole. Great scene. Great scene and not overdoing it. Great scene all the way around. You know, so she's dead. Now, the mom, again, I don't know how she herself doesn't take a boatload of pills and just say goodbyes to this world. The mom just died. Her daughter, who she's attached to, just died. She's a mess. They have dinner, and she explodes. Finally,
that's another great scene. The dinner scene when
that part was well written. Yes. Where she finally explodes, and I love that explosion. I mean, her performance and the way it's written. I don't know if it was ad-libbed or she went on. I don't think she went over the top at all. I think she was holding it together. She was picking at the food mechanically. She wasn't really even there eating.
Say something, Mom. Da, 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 da. And you could see the whole, it was bubbling over, and she just let him have it. And then when he goes, oh, well, she didn't want to go to the party. He made it come to the party. That look on her face of disdain, like, you mother.
Well, that's why from this point forward, the movie moves along well and does gain traction and goes somewhere. It just takes a while to get there. So again, some of the writing is on point. It's challenging to make 4 different very good characters fit in where they're all fucking screwed up. But, obviously the son is now going through some possession type stuff. He gets, I don't know if his body was captured, toyed with, manipulated, whatever, but he's contorting in school. He's hitting his head.
Nose, Fun fact, he actually really wanted to break his own nose. And the director, Harry, was like, you know what, no, you can't do that. So they actually made the desk out of foam. So he really smacked his head against,
Believable enough. I agree. You don't have to go over the top there and break a nose for this scene. Can you imagine? And the film wasn't rolling.
Can you do it again? I'm like, oh shoot.
We don't have a budget for a stunt man, so
a lot of the seance scenes were practical effects. They had to find out how to do all that because he wanted it to be real. He wanted everything to be legit, So.
I mean, that's why looking under the table is it's an old school. Many of you guys who do novelty magician acts and all this stuff, you put a magnet underneath the table and you magnetize the cup and glass, whatever, or a card or deck or a Ouija board.
The chalkboard, they did that. The magnet.
Let's move the magnet around, and the item on top moves in sequence. It's cool, for most of the effects and the seance thing. Here's where I do give him a lot of credit as well. This storyline is not brand new. No. This is done a million times. In one of the most overdone spiritual things about a family member who's an oddball, who is completely engrossed in the dark arts.
Right.
And you get sucked into it just by the very nature that that's your family member, and I don't want to get all Jedi and Dark Force on you guys, but you do anything and sacrifice anybody to appease the dark gods that you swear allegiance to. And that's where basically the plot line really goes to. Because as we progress towards the end, any attempt the mom does, and she realizes that it's not them, it's not her, it's the forces at B. There is a woman from the self-help group that befriends her and tells her that she talks to her grandson via seance, kind of like a Ouija board thing, recite this ancient text in another language. I mean, this is a la Evil Dead, a la something else, a la everything else. I mean, it's kind of like a hodgepodge of stuff. I get lost, again, a concurrent thing that you have said, some realism that's lacking here. You get befriended by somebody you don't really know. They show you this weird thing. You get blown away. You buy it all immediately. But at the same time, fact checking here. You don't know who this lady is. Just out of the
first of all, she has some crazy OCD. She has some crazy like she really is very meticulous in aspects of her life, especially because she recreates everything in those little freaking houses and everything.
Miniature artworks and sculptures that she does, you have to make it realistic, and she's obviously in high demand and well paid because the gallery is working with her to get her models on display. She's not a novelty act. She's an accomplished artist. So again, I just find the husband role a little bit too convenient.
Yeah, I mean, he was just,
he doesn't buy it at the end, but through the whole thing so far, he buys everything. There's some great things he put in here about the mom used to sleepwalk, and one day when the kid was young, the son was young, she was doused in thinner, he was doused in paint thinner, and she was ready to light the both of them up on fire. She's damaged goods because of her mom, for sure.
100%. She's whacked out because her mom, was, they never specified. I guess she was a head witch or some,
So all these elements,
or whatever,
it can work just a little more condensed. And then I also agree with you that as you get towards the ending, to me, it kind of cheapens the movie when you start getting the mom walking on the ceiling, a bunch of naked people popping up here and there.
That was all like it turned. I mean, if you want to really give a thinking man's horror movie, whatever, and you want to keep it in that, and then you result to the shock gore type stuff, which
it doesn't gel. It doesn't.
That's why I'm shocked of all the critics saying how good a movie is. I mean, they're probably seeing it not as a horror movie, but as a family breakdown, as opposed to how we view it as a horror movie.
Actually, I'm sorry I cannot quote the exact review that I read, but one review actually said that it was more of a family crisis dynamic drama as opposed to a horror movie. The horror movie element really is
crazy.
The last 15 minutes, where I think there could have been more of that sprinkled in with less of the gore, and you would have achieved more fright, more permanence, more, like you said, thinking man's horror, instead of this gore, slasher, gross body, headless body stuff. It gets too easy.
Yeah. I mean, look, I'm going to give you one of the worst reviews. Aster displays proficient skill in eerie tone setting, elaborate production design, and the type of scares that will leave a pervasive imprint on the mind, even if the underlying mythology gets overcomplicated by the finale. And that's from Jordan Raup and the Film Stage. So,
all right. So, to put everything in perspective, as a first-time writer-director, it's a phenomenal movie, and from a technical point of view, very well done.
Yes. Agreed.
seamless transitions, great camera work, great angles, great motivation to get the characters to be the characters that he wants them to be. Great performances. It moves, although rather lethargically. It moves and it is a coherent work. I just think it could be better. And again, no knock on the guy. This is your first time out, and it's a pretty damn good movie.
And I think the problem is we saw Midsommar first, and it kind of ruined the.
Well, the disappointment factor. You know, we're looking at M. Night Shyamalan, right? Everything will be compared to The Sixth Sense. Unfortunately, he hit a grand slam on his first way out. Every at bat, you're expecting. Was that?
Also starring Toni Collette.
Yes. Toni Collette, I think, is completely underestimated, undervalued as an actress. I think she puts on some stellar performances, which she nails. I mean, not just, she's convincing or that's memorable. I mean, from hysteria to somberness to I don't give a shit to, the whole spectrum of what you want from a horror movie actress. She's damn good. I would take her in any flick. I would immediately. So that's not a problem. So,
all right, bottom line.
And what you said in your bottom line, I'm not going to give it the popcorn with all the fixings, begrudgingly so. I reserve that for very, very exceptional movies. At the same time, I think it's a disservice to give it just your regular popcorn with standard butter and salt. It fits somewhere in between, but I can't give it the gold star.
I'm giving that a gold star. I'm giving it more of a
high silver,
silver-ish type of, like a silver that's turning kind of bronze-ish, kind of, kind of. I guess regular popcorn, a little salt, not all the fixing, no butter.
The value meal.
The value meal, yes. It was a good movie. The idea, but it could have been, you shorten it down 40 minutes, keep it tight and concise. It would have worked so much better.
Put it this, without the actors and the actresses that he had hired, and maybe without the musical score, which that was another.
Yes.
That was a masterful piece. Without those two elements, this is an average movie.
Right.
So that's why the acting raises it, the soundtrack raises
average to maybe even a bad movie.
Wouldn't go that far, but I. So this is above average to me. That's my final word on this. I still would recommend it. You guys check it out. You watch it for yourselves. It is by far a better quality movies than most horror movies out today.
But if you're expecting your typical jump scares, you don't get any of that. You get minimal gore until the end. You get a lot of eerie dread type, and great performance. So it's a thinking man's movie, which I hate to say, but
disturbing, right? For a horror movie to be the pinnacle of horror movie, it's got to be disturbing. It's got to have permanence that you cannot sleep well at night.
I don't think it. I think it had. It almost got there. I don't think it was that.
I think I can. I think I could.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that sums it up for
Midsommar stayed with me so much.
It's still with me.
Yeah. This was something that okay. A little fun fact before we go. This movie was actually based off of reportedly inspired by an apparent curse over Ari Aster's family that seems to bring them bad luck over a 3-year period. During a Q&A session, Aster himself only mentioned, quote, "I had gone through some stuff with my family. I took my sickness and now put it inside all of you."
Thanks, Ari. Thanks a whole lot. With that, We're about to sign off, but I'll leave you guys with a food for thought and welcome your invite, your feedback as always about the supernatural, about the superstitions, about the dark side.
Yeah.
How do you feel? Do you believe? Are you scared, or is it all in our heads? Food for thought. And if anything, this movie kind of jarred that cobwebs up.
Which will lead us to coming soon, sooner rather than later. We're going to have a new series of episodes dealing with the supernatural and the occult, and specifically, inspired by, stuff.
Whole thing, bad juju.
Yes. Get ready for the Bad Juju Chronicles coming very soon. That being said, let us know what you think about the movie. Do you agree? Do you disagree with our thoughts? I can't wait for his next movies. So, that being said.
Definitely a rising star. I will check out his next flick, regardless what it is. Supposedly he has a bank of 10 scripts that he would like to make. So, he's just getting better and better, and let this train roll. All right, I'm Raka.
Izzy.
Thanks for joining us on Dead Air Dudes. Remember to save the whales. Save thyself.
Stay safe, everybody. See you guys soon.